Genuinely curious how everybody is managing. I just got back from picking up a few things. This bag of groceries is not full. The only piece of meat in here is this sausage because I'm making a little platter for a girls' night tomorrow night, and this jug of milk on the side. All of this cost $108. That blows my mind. I saw packages of hot dogs, just regular hot dogs, wieners. I can't remember what brand they were. They were, I think, $15. How is everybody managing with the ongoing costs? I'm going to put a few options up here. I'm just genuinely curious how everybody's
What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by, supporting your girl on this channel. So all credit goes to the creators in this video. So guys, in today's video, we talk about problems. We talk about, people that regretted their votes and they are finding out. But now let's really talk about what it costs to live in America right now. Because for a lot of folks, this is feeling like straight up impossible. Everything, literally everything is expensive. Grocery bills is through the roof. Eggs, milk, bread, basic stuff that used to be affordable is now double or triple the prices. And when we talk about rent, don't even ask, okay? Childcare, gas, healthcare, insurance, food delivery, every little thing is cutting deep into people's wallet. And let's not even add student loans, okay, car loans, and surprise medical bills. And suddenly one is living from paycheck to paycheck, even with a good job. Guys, people are just working and working and working and nothing to show for it, because people are not even working one job anymore. One job doesn't even pay the bill. Two jobs, sometimes three jobs. People will go for morning shift, weekend gigs, DoorDash at night, just to be able to afford groceries and keep the lights on. And even college graduates are hustling. And this is not even about laziness. It's just a system that is out of balance. Let's see what these people have to say, and I'll see you soon.
How are y'all making it? No, literally, how are y'all making it? Because, little backstory, I decided back in January that I was going to monetize on this app. Every dollar I made, no matter how big, how small, was going to go to a savings account, and that was going to be money for a down payment on our house. Because if you don't know, me, my husband, and our two kids are living with my parents. Spoiler alert, that's not happening. We're having to take that money I'm making and use it to get by until the next week, on top of my husband's income. My husband's making the most money he's ever made, and this is the brokest we've ever been. Make it make sense. I'm not a bougie bitch. I might get my lashes done, but my friends do my hair. I don't get my nails done. Like, I'm really not that high maintenance. We try to live within our means. We truly do. It's like, no matter how much you don't go out to eat, no matter how much you don't spend money, you're still gonna be broke. Why? Because that is the world that we live in. So I know I'm not as educated as I should be when it comes to voting. All I know is that shit was a lot better 4 years ago. I could afford to breathe and I had my own house. Right now, nobody can afford housing. Nobody can afford food. And if you can, congratulations, because you're...
If you feel like your grocery bill is too high or that your food tastes worse than it used to, you're not imagining things. Let's break down what actually is going on with United States food right now. Food prices in the United States have gone up by around 25% since 2020. They're going to continue to rise. Economists predict that by the end of 2025, grocery prices will inflate another 3.3%, which is higher than the national average inflation rate. Eggs, beef, and coffee are the biggest offenders. Eggs alone have their prices skyrocketed by around 60% since last year. Meanwhile, the median United States income is around $82,000. The average family of four is now currently spending over $1,000 a month on groceries alone. That's close to 15% of their income just on food. In the end, it's becoming harder and harder for the working class to afford basics. And it's not just the costs rising, the quality of the food is also slipping. Just recently, 7 major food brands have released warnings to the public because their products could contain pieces of plastic and wood. On top of that, recent FDA budget cuts and layoffs have reduced the amount of people able to inspect food. That means more contaminated or mislabeled food will end up on store shelves. The biggest problem is we won't find out about this until somebody gets hurt. And don't forget, food producers are cutting corners. There are fewer nutrients and more fillers. What once was made with healthy, simple ingredients are now being ultra-processed. You'd think the government would step in to try and make things better, but in the end they're making things worse by introducing all these tariffs. In fact, the over 100% tariffs on China are making ingredients, packaging, and other items related to food more expensive. Instead of lowering costs, they're raising them. Companies pass these costs straight to us, or they pull their item from United States shelves altogether. And while we're paying more for low-quality food, Congress continues to slash safety oversight and subsidize massive agricultural businesses instead of helping out small farmers, or lowering food costs for families. It's a disaster that is mostly policy-driven. We don't have to accept this. The cost of living should not mean you have to skip meals. We need leadership that'll fight for food justice, affordability, and safety, not fight for the corporations. Pay attention, speak up, and vote smart.
So I feel that this goes deeper than inflation because it just shows how the system was built or how the system is built. Wages have not exactly kept up because way back in the 1970s, you could practically afford a house, raise a family on just one income. But now, you work full time, right? Have multiple jobs and still be broke. Guys, like, make it make sense. Corporate profits are up. The CEOs are there making millions, billions, but people, right? People that are working for them, that are running the machines, that are stocking the shelves and answering phones, going from one place to another, answering to those CEOs are scraping by. And even when the prices, let's say for example, goes down a little, they never go back to normal. And it's always like the system resets higher every time. Because this is just the reality for millions of Americans. Because the cycle continues. It goes from being stressed to being burnt out to anxiety, right? People are just trying to survive. So, the next time somebody comes up to you and says, people just don't want to work, people are just lazy, remember that they are working harder than ever, having multiple jobs. Because some people will just, have the sense of entitlement and feel that people are not making ends meet because they are lazy, right? They are working harder than ever and they are still not making it. They are still living from pillar to post. Guys, how are you surviving in this economy? Like, things are really, really hard.
Affording life right now. How are people tackling this cost of living on the average American salary? I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes, but her one-bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that one-bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, like, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teacher's salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment. You got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. Like, I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt. Then, like, she will just continue to accrue more debt and more debt and more debt because her salary is not matching the cost of living. And what's sad is I've seen people be like, just spend less. Listen, guys, the cost of living is rising and our salaries are stagnant, okay? So there's not just spend less. That's not the problem here. The problem is the cost of living is outrageous, and minimum wage in some states is still $7.25. Teachers in some states are still paid a ridiculously low salary, even though their job is super important. I don't know what we can do about this, but I'm just going on a rant because it really, really pisses me.
Living in the United States has officially gotten to the most expensive number.
Okay, but are y'all okay out there? No, really, like, how are you guys still surviving in America? This is just another reason why I tell all Americans to leave that Titanic sinking ship, because it's not going to get any better. You guys, I live in Bali now, and my monthly expenses do not exceed more than $1,000 per month. And I'm out here living like a queen. I mean, like massages 2-3 times a week, organic foods, doing yoga, or going to the gym every single day. Take my advice and leave America. I honestly don't see it getting any better anytime soon. So instead of struggling there and having 2, 3, 4 jobs just to make ends meet, take your savings and go to a much affordable country. There are countries in Latin America and Southeast Asia that are 1/10 of the price of the cost of living in the US. You can find a remote job. You can figure out all those expenses once you get to those countries where your dollar goes much.
Aware of the fact that the cost of living in California is astronomically high. But for those of you who grocery shop on a weekly basis for a family of, say, like 3 to 4, what is your average grocery bill? Because for a family of 3, we are spending on average between $300 to $350 a week on groceries. That is over $1,200 a month we are spending on groceries. Granted, I do try to shop mostly organic. I buy whole foods. I try to go as unprocessed as possible. And my son and my boyfriend are human garbage disposals, so they eat a ton of food. But I still feel like that is so ridiculous. And I'm at the point where I'm wondering if it's even worth it to grocery shop, or would it be more cost effective to just eat out every day? That is a ridiculously high amount to pay on just groceries alone. And yes, it's mostly organic and whole foods, but we've been grocery shopping the same way for the past several months. And my grocery bill is getting higher and higher every month. And I'm always buying the same shit. So, yeah, I'm like, why am I spending all this money and time grocery shopping, cleaning up, cooking, when we can just treat ourselves every day? Am I right? Like, I love California though. I'm still not moving.
So in all of this, I'm trying to think that, okay, what can be the solution? Because let's just start with the obvious. People need to earn more, right? The efforts and the energy they put into their work, they need to be rewarded for it. Because raising the federal minimum wage is just one step, right? But even that is not enough in some cities, right? So living wages needs to be increased, not just minimum wages. That means you have to have enough to cover rent, you have to have enough to pay for food, healthcare, and still breathe a little, right? Because it's not just these fast food workers or whatever that needs to earn higher. Nurses, warehouse workers, teachers, people need to earn more, right? Affordable housing, because, and I mean, you need a roof over your head. That's the biggest monthly expense for some people, right? We are talking more investments, maybe in public housing, rent cabs, affordable builds, right? Not just luxury high rises, okay? Because now housing is treated like a stock. It's treated like something that if you're not wealthy enough, you can't even afford to have a place to live. And the system is just broken. Let's just accept it, right? Yes, we know that inflation sucks, right? But I feel that this just goes deeper than inflation, because it seems to be about profit first, okay? And this profit first will just leave these workers behind. I feel we need stronger unions, more worker protection, and accountability. Corporate accountability will go a long way, right? Because there are some other countries that have figured this out. So why can't America just figure this out, right? And because people should not have to break their backs to survive. People work hard. Some people are not even asking for so much. They just want to be able to fend for their families and still have enough to save for the raining day. Because at this point, when people are going from pillar to post, there is nothing left to save or invest. There is nothing left, because by the time you spend on rent, spend on healthcare, spend on groceries, electricity, gas prices, and all of that, there is nothing left. So let me know, guys, what do you think in the comment section? How are you guys surviving from one job, two jobs, gigs, and all of that? What is going on, and what do you think can be done to fix this? Because we need a solution right here. We really need a solution. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you for listening. If you have found value in this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.